Hi, this is Sakyo Jun's channel. I share experiences about studying abroad and life discoveries. I hope you like it. Today is part 4 of the Canada series. I studied at the largest language school in Calgary, where the number of students surged to hundreds during the summer. The school integrated various technology tools to support learning. They primarily communicated with students through their own app and website, allowing us to study independently on the platform. The courses were designed like games, making learning fun. Although there were occasional system glitches, I noticed them and gave feedback to the school as an IT engineer. Looking back, when I was learning Japanese in Kyoto years ago, I used to sit in a cafe, writing diaries and asking my Japanese friends or teachers to correct them. But this time in Calgary, AI was available. My favorite study spot became the Calgary Center Library. I listened to English channels like The Diary of a CEO and Learn English Podcast, wrote down my thoughts and asked AI to refine them. For someone as shy as me, this was a comfortable and effective way to improve my English. Even now, I still use AI to correct my podcast scripts. Sometimes I can't help but admire how well it improves my writing. However, my teacher reminded me that the only way to improve speaking skills is to talk with classmates. I wanted to connect with other students, and I had no problem doing so when I was in New Zealand, but in Calgary, I felt myself like an oyster with a tightly shut shell. My mouth just won't open. Maybe there were too many people that made me nervous. For introverts like me, the best way to start speaking is through constructed activities where talking is necessary, such as class discussions, making short introduction videos about the cities, or even become a student ambassador. And yes, that's what I did. I will speak if I have to. One interesting thing I observed at language school was that students from the same country often stuck together and spoke their native language. This wasn't great for sure, so every school had an English-only rule. However, some schools enforced it well, while others did not. And I found this contrast fascinating. At my school in New Zealand, when the staff was showing us around, they told us about a magic lie at the entrance. We could speak our native language outside the magic lie, but inside the school, if we did, we had to pay a $1 fine, and they meant it. The students there followed the rule because it was fun, and we had a designated space where we could speak our native languages whenever we needed, just by stepping outside the magic line. The mix of students varied depending on the country. In Canada, most of my classmates came from South America, and some Asian countries such as Japan, Korea, and Taiwan. In contrast, in New Zealand, the majority were Japanese and Thailand, along with some students from Europe, the Middle East, and South America. Interestingly, there were no Korean students at my school in New Zealand, which I found surprising. Perhaps this reflects how people tend to follow recommendations from their peers when choosing where to study. Despite the differences, one thing remained the same no matter where I studied. There were always Japanese students. Sometimes there were so many that they got frustrated, making it feel like being in a Japanese cram school rather than an English class. How do you learn a foreign language? By speaking or writing? Do you have any foreign friends? Feel free to leave a comment if you want to share your thoughts or have any questions. That's all for today's episode. Thank you for listening. See you next time. Bye bye.